What's up everyone? Welcome back to my review of Men's Fashion Week. Today we are diving into the biggest menswear shows from Paris Fashion Week. The Spring-Summer 2025 season was super interesting, with menswear designers gravitating towards super wearable and relatively quiet collections. We had also fun, dreamy and imaginative collections, but still grounded in reality. Alright, let's get started and dive into the details. Kim Jones loves collaborating with artists. He takes their art and puts in the context of fashion. The Dior Spring-Summer 2025 collection marked his 60th collection for the Parisian luxury fashion house. This time, Kim Jones, a known collector and appreciator for hidden gems, turned his focus to the captivating works of South African master potter Hilton Nail. He is particularly fond of nail sculptures of cats, which he showcased in gigantic proportions on the runway. These hybrid creatures with the heads of cats and the bodies of female humans resembled the gods of ancient Egypt. The studied outlines on boots, outerwear and tailoring were all created in collaboration with Nail. The South African artist also designed badges and intricate animal motifs that adorned their knitwear and colored socks. There was a sense of ease in the collection, with a focus on modern tailoring that had outdoorsy feel and sculptural silhouette. Models wore ceramic sculptures shaped like scarves around their necks, contributing to the overall artistic feel. Dior suits were stripped of formality by pairing them with crew neck tees and chunky sculptural footwear reminiscent of Crocs. High-color suits further contributed to the outdoorsy vibe, featuring jackets that borrowed 3 pockets from the utility world. Wide-leg shorts, one of the standout highlights of the collection, were styled by biker boots with a sculptural design, perfectly suited for hiking in the wild. Utility wear was further explored through overshirts, chore jackets and functional, multi-pocketed outerwear. The collection's exploration of the outdoors was based on 2 key inspirations. First, in honor of Monsieur Dior, the gardener, reflecting his love for gardening and flowers. Second, the influence of South Africa, paying tribute to ceramicist Hilton Nail and Kim Jones himself, who also grew up in Africa. Among the collection's treasures was a blue and white jacket covered in floral embroidery, designed to replicate the surface of earthenware. This piece required almost 2,000 hours of work. Kim Jones explains that such grails are highly coveted by the house's most dedicated customers, who often schedule one-on-one appointments and buy a huge amount of special pieces. Several looks in the collection paid homage to Dior archive womenswear designs. Draped pants and asymmetrical cape coats drew inspiration from 1952 women's design by founder Christian Dior. Kim Jones explains that he enjoys exploring new techniques to deconstruct womenswear and reassemble it as menswear. The collection accessories featured hand-crocheted hats with cat pendants and iconic Dior saddlebags. While the collection was rich in functional pieces, it also conveyed a poetic feel. It was coupled with a sense of ease, freedom, and a deep appreciation for the great outdoors. As always, the fabrics and craftsmanship were of highest caliber. The collection unveiled many grails that required immense work and effort. Another big plus was footwear. Chunky shoes and biker boots with those studded outlines resembled a piece of art. However, despite so many positive things, overall the collection did not live up to its expectations. The biggest problem was that it lacked fresh innovations and felt kind of repetitive. The exploration of the great outdoors is nothing new. Kim Jones had previously done it in the Spring-Summer 23 collection. Similarly, the deconstruction of womenswear into menswear concepts, such as draped pleated pants and asymmetrical capes echoed his previous collections. Kim Jones, despite his busy schedule, might want to consider introducing fresh new ideas to reinvigorate the collection. Pharrell Williams unveiled his Spring-Summer 25 collection for Louis Vuitton. It marks the designer's fourth runway collection for the Parisian luxury fashion house. This time, the American designer chose a very unique venue to show the collection. He staged the show at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris. He selected the location intentionally to promote peace, inclusivity, and a sense of community. As Pharrell described it, the collection was a homage to human beings, celebrating all the people who inhabit the world. To convey this message, he focused on his dandy aesthetic and complemented with Louis Vuitton's spirit of travel. Unlike his last collection, which was too costume-like and loud, this one was more refined, quiet, and wearable. As Williams explained, the intention here was not to be so loud, but to be very intentional in the details. He continued that we live in a culture that zooms in and zooms out. So when you zoom in, he wanted details like the stitch and fabric to be unlike anything you've ever seen or felt before. And when you zoom out, you understand that we love the world. Anyways, Pharrell structured the collection around different archetypal codes of travel, all manifesting his favorite dandy aesthetic. He even coined the term and called them global dandies. This approach allowed Williams and the Louis Vuitton design team to explore multiple subgenres of menswear. They played with archetypes such as the diplomat, dressed in tailored suits, and the secret agent, traveling undercover in leather suits and overcoats. Adventurous explorers who appreciate practicality and versatility were dressed in utility jackets and vests. Meanwhile, modern travelers sported outfits featuring a new version of Pharrell's pixelated camouflage, resembling a reptilian print. Even though many garments looked simple at first glance, they were crafted with immense work and effort. For example, the pearl button overshirt with Python pattern camouflage was almost entirely hand-embroidered. It reportedly took a team of 30 Louis Vuitton artisans, each working for 10 days to complete. Pharrell also delved into themes such as aviation. He paid homage to pilots with uniforms like flight suits and variations on the MA-1 bomber jacket. He introduced flight jackets with a pixelated Python pattern, which he dubbed Snake of Leg. Pharrell also referenced a Euro 24 football tournament with a variety of soccer-inspired merch. This ranged from football jerseys to a bag shaped like a soccer ball. To strengthen the message of promoting freedom, inclusivity, and a sense of community, Louis Vuitton collaborated with Air Afrique Collective, a Paris-based cultural group that provides a platform for artists throughout the African diaspora. Blue and green check suits were based on a pattern used in a luggage created for Air Afrique airline that operated between 1961 and 2002. Even though the collection was generally quiet and understated, it had an unapologetically luxurious side with jackets and coats dripping with rhinestone and pearl embroidery. Fur coats further added to the opulence, bringing an additional layer of grandeur to the collection. The final segment unveiled multicolored damier checks. They served as a closing element of Pharrell's splendid Louis Vuitton show. I love how Pharrell continues to explore different areas and dimensions of fashion. From last season's loud and costume-like collection, he shifted to a low-key, highly wearable, and quiet collection. However, this seemingly simple and quiet collection revealed itself to be highly detailed and intricate with its luxurious fabrics and immense creativity and time invested in each piece. Because the collection appeared quiet and ordinary at first glance, it attracted a range of opinions. Some loved it while others were less impressed. Personally, I liked it. I appreciated how Pharrell demonstrated that a quiet and super wearable collection can also be luxurious and elegant. Of course, there were aspects I did not like, such as the new pixelated Python print and the soccer ball pattern. I also felt that map prints on bomber jackets and shirts looked kind of out of place. The collection did not feature any groundbreaking silhouettes, but again, that was not the purpose of the collection. Overall, Pharrell did well. I'm curious to see what he'll do next. Jonathan Anderson presented his Spring-Summer 25 collection for the Spanish luxury fashion house Loewe, a brand renowned for its collaborations with artists from around the world. Certainly, Jonathan Anderson is pretty good at translating art into fashion. This time he drew inspiration from a long list of artists he admires. He explains that he wanted to bring together something very special and personal to him. He designed the runway reflecting those artists and their art. The set design featured macro sculptures for Paul Sachs' Pied Piper series, a Peter Hujar photo of a stiletto scarpa, a Charles Rennie Macintosh chair, and an industrial-looking coat rack in oak. As hinted by the scale of macro sculptures, the collection was all about a radical act of restraint. The starting point was a series of slim black suits, crafted from special fabric developed by Loewe to achieve a purposefully spongy finish. Almost all models wore a special headset, featuring long pheasant feathers. They were attached to headbands and they obscured the models' faces. Anderson explains that feathers were there to divide our view of the faces beneath them. Other eccentricities included Loewe labels transformed into smoked shirts. There were also sculptural vests that resembled abstract pieces of art, while others had the appearance of armor crafted from metal watch straps. The collection placed a strong emphasis on pants. Jonathan Anderson transitioned from slim pants to draped pleated pants. They were wrapped and fastened at the waist, evoking the way ancient Romans wore their cloaks. The standout items in the pants category were the enormous ballooning knit pants, reminiscent of medieval harem trousers. Their cable knit texture was mirrored in the sweaters, creating a matching knit ensemble. The silhouette was structured by a wide belt that cinched the waist. Speaking of belts, Anderson came up with a new invention. He linked cropped shirts and pants with a double-circled belt that spiraled from the stomach to the hip. It created a garment that seemed both unified and divided. Other inventions included frozen outerwear. Loewe coats featured uniquely designed hems with a contrasting inner lining that picked out and resembled sculptural drape. The clothing segment blurred the lines of perception, leaving us questioning what we were seeing. There were one-piece garments with deep, unbuttoned necklines that extended below the waistline of the pants, and in another instance, a knitted v-neck with a vibrant, zigzag pattern seamlessly merged with wide-leg pleated pants. Overall, Jonathan Anderson introduced a lot of innovations. He incorporated artistic elements and modern concepts into classic forms, while respecting the brand's heritage. Overall, he did a brilliant job. The collection was innovative, elegant, eccentric, and super wearable. It's not an easy task to check all those boxes. Craftsmanship and attention to detail was remarkable. He also used opulent materials to add a layer of luxury. Again, the collection was fun, eccentric, innovative, but still grounded in reality. The Dries Van Noten Spring-Summer 25 collection was particularly special as it marked the final collection designed by the founder for his eponymous label. After nearly 38 years in the fashion industry, the Belgian designer has decided to retire, making way for a new generation of designers. Even though retired, he will remain as an advisor to the house, which is now controlled by the Spanish beauty and fashion group Puig. The opening segment of the show unveiled classic yet slouchy tailoring shapes. Silhouettes were relaxed yet elegant. Suits and coats came with retro swagger. The runway itself was covered with silver leaves that looked like fall foliage as the models walked, referencing his fall 2006 women's show. A relaxed yet elegant way of dressing was demonstrated perfectly via narrow trench coats in the loose, low-slung suits and double-breasted blazers. Dries van Noten experimented with metallic textures and transparencies. In the collection notes, the designer cited Belgian visual artist Dries as an inspiration, whose minimalist paintings often employ shimmering textures and her sculptures frequently feature metallic textiles. Dries translated her art in the context of fashion. He complemented metallic textures with filmy trench coats in colored cellophane. The result was uplifting and dreamy looks that hinted an escape from the chaos of the world. Another key element of the collection was the emphasis on transparencies and visible layering. Organza tops and pants floated in sheer volumes. Dries complemented multiple layering and transparencies with innovative textiles. Standout garments included organza pink trench coats and oversized pistachio tops. The collection also referenced the past with a variety of bold prints, including florals and abstract patterns. These prints often tell a story and add depth to his designs. This time, large-scale botanical motifs were created using suminagashi, a traditional Japanese marbling technique that dates back 1,000 years. Dries was deeply committed to innovation in this collection. He experimented with unconventional fabrics like brushed wool fused to neoprene and a crinkled polyamide that resembled glass. In the showroom before the final show, Dries told Vogue that fashion can be a reflection of what's happening in the world. He continued that fashion can also be an escape and it can make you dream. With such an uplifting collection, Dries truly made everyone dream. I deeply admire his work and hope this new chapter brings new and exciting opportunities for both the brand and Dries himself. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.